From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, August the 11th, 2025. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke yesterday with U.S. President Donald Trump. The Prime Minister's office said the two discussed Israel's plans for taking control of the remaining Hamas strongholds in Gaza in order to bring about, it wrote, the end of the war, the release of the hostages, and the defeat of Hamas. The Prime Minister also gave a press conference for foreign media yesterday where he spoke more in detail about the plans.
No nation can accept a genocidal terrorist organization, an organization committed to its annihilation, a stone's throw from its citizens. Our goal is not to occupy Gaza. Our goal is to free Gaza, free it from Hamas terrorists. The war can end tomorrow if Gaza, or rather if Hamas lays down its arms and releases all the remaining hostages. Gaza will be demilitarized. Israel will have overriding security responsibility. A security zone will be established on Gaza's border with Israel to prevent future terrorist incursions. A civilian administration will be established in Gaza that will seek to live in peace with Israel.
Netanyahu reiterated 5 principles for concluding the war: Hamas disarmed, all hostages freed, Gaza demilitarized, Israel having overriding security control, and a non-Israeli peaceful civil administration. He said, given Hamas's refusal to lay down its arms, Israel has no choice but to finish the job and complete the defeat of Hamas, saying that this is the best way to end the war. The IDF continues its operations in Gaza, eliminating terrorists, including, it said yesterday, a Hamas terrorist who posed as an Al Jazeera journalist, saying that he was the head of a Hamas terrorist cell and advanced rocket attacks on Israeli civilians and IDF troops, saying intelligence and documents from Gaza prove he was a Hamas operative integrated into Al Jazeera. And responding to outcry on social media about the elimination, including from the United Nations, who posted, "Journalists are not a target," Israel's foreign ministry wrote in response, "We agree, journalists are not a target, but jihadi terrorists with cameras are not journalists. They are terrorists." After Israel's announcement of the expansion of plans in Gaza, Germany said it would embargo arms to Israel. Prime Minister Netanyahu said Friday that he spoke with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz and expressed his disappointment with that decision, writing, instead of supporting Israel's just war against Hamas, which carried out the most horrific attack against the Jewish people since the Holocaust, Germany is rewarding Hamas terrorism by embargoing arms to Israel. And today, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said that Australia will recognize a Palestinian state at the United Nations General Assembly coming up next month. Israel strongly condemned the move. Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Sharon Haskell writing, 50 of our hostages remain in Hamas's dungeons of torture, being starved to death, being forced to dig their own graves. Yet the Australian government has decided now is the right time to reward the monsters of October the 7th with recognition of a Palestinian state. Israel's ambassador to Australia, Amir Maimon, wrote, "Peace is built by ending terror, not rewarding it, by recognizing a Palestinian state while Hamas continues to kill, kidnap, and reject peace. Australia undermines Israel's security, derails hostage negotiations, and hands a victory to those who oppose coexistence." Well, over 40,000 people gathered yesterday in the streets of London to call for the release of the hostages, calling on the British government and the international community to take action to bring them home, led by Chief Rabbi Ephraim Mervis, who in his address to the crowd noted the decision from the UK some 10 days ago that it would recognize a Palestinian state. Mervis noted one of the senior Hamas leaders thanked our government and said that the UK's intention can be considered one of the fruits of the 7th of October.
If a terrorist organization proscribed by the UK government is congratulating the UK government, it means that there is something seriously wrong. And so to our government we turn and we say, how will you ever be able to live with the fact that you would have recognized the Palestinian state, at the head of which is a terrorist organization with a stated intention of destroying the state of Israel and harming Jews right around the world, and all this at a time when the hostages are still languishing in the tunnels of Gaza?
Mervis telling the government this is the time for responsible action. It is not too late. The 50 hostages who remain held by terror group Hamas and other Palestinian terror groups in Gaza have now been captive for 675 days. Well, members of Congress from both sides of the aisle are in Israel this week. The delegations organized by pro-Israel lobby AIPAC, who said the lawmakers are on the ground in Israel to witness firsthand the aftermath of October the 7th, see Israel's ongoing efforts to provide aid into Gaza and to engage with top government leaders. The groups met yesterday and today with Israel's President Isaac Herzog, who said these visits show the bipartisan, steadfast alliance between the United States and Israel and of the true shared values between our peoples. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, August the 11th. At 7 o'clock, Elana Stein Hain speaks with Jacob Feinspan about progressive allyship. At 8, Abigail Pogrebin speaks with author David Kraemer about his book, Embracing Exile, The Case for Jewish Diaspora. At 8:30 on Kosher Movies, Rabbi Herb Cohen and his son Benyamin turn to the films of Ben Affleck as the foundation for a Jewish exploration of anger management. At 9, Herb Cohen is on L'chaim. At 10, it's David Harris on Defending Israel. At 10:30, an encore of the news, and coming up next, it's Good Week, Israel. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, August the 11th, 2025. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.